friends. Welcome to another episode of the Mannschrecks. I'm Sarah.
And I'm JJ.
And there's a kid there. Oh, it was a cat.
We put the kids to bed.
I heard a cat. I thought it was a kid, but it's a
This
cat.
is the weekly podcast that we bring to you every 2 weeks. We've just been busy. And
Thought for your thoughts with Daryl Merble.
Parks and Rec reference.
Sorry.
Ding. Oh my gosh. You know, it was fun. We were up at my folks' place this past week, and we were talking to my dad, and he was just talking about how much he enjoys listening to it, and it was just so
really?
fun.
I did
Oh my
not
gosh,
hear
yeah!
that.
I had a whole conversation with him. He was like, "I really enjoy it." He doesn't listen every week; he listens in batches.
Yeah, random.
You know, he'll catch up and listen to a bunch all at once or whatever.
That's cute.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, "Oh, so you're the because every now and then I'll get a bunch of downloads in a row, and it's like somebody's listening through, you know." But anyway, it was just very affirming.
That's so cute.
It was like, no, I like it. I'm glad you guys do it. It's well done. It was just very complimentary. Lots of positive things to say. So thanks,
That means
Dad.
a lot.
It does. It means I loved it. But anyway, so it's been a few weeks, but we're back, and I'm so excited. I actually kept my stories because I thought they were good enough to hang on to because I got to tell you these stories. So you want to go first?
Sure. All right. So my first story is archaeologists unearth an ancient shopping receipt dating back thousands of years.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So it's cuneiform.
Sure.
Is how you pronounce it.
Yep.
So an archaeologist came across a cuneiform tablet, which is it's believed to be a 15th century BC Akkadian cuneiform tablet. It is inscribed with an administrative record or receipt sharing a large amount of furniture shopping.
Somebody
this is
a receipt and a tablet?
1500 15th century, so 1600 BC.
Yes, I think so.
And
so over 1,000 years before Jesus showed up.
Right. And
wow.
The discovery was made in Turkey. It's a area known as Eski Alala in Turkey. So
wow.
It's this relic, it says it's 4.2 centimeters and 1 centimeter wide by 1.6 in thickness. So it's this little tiny square.
Okay.
It's a little tablet. And it's cuneiform is a proper way of writing distinct from the alphabet, according to London's British Museum. So it's a little square, and it says it doesn't have letters. It uses between 600 and 1,000 characters impressed on clay to spell words by dividing them up into syllables. So that's what the relic that they found has
that's
in
how
it.
cuneiform works.
Right. So it says the clay-inspired tablet is said to show the record of the purchase of a large amount of wooden tables, chairs, and stools.
That's so
It says Mehmet Nuri Ersoy, Minister of Culture and Tourism of the Republic of Turkey, posted about the finding on X. We believe that this tablet, weighing about 28 grams, will offer a new perspective to understand the economic structure and state system of the late Bronze Age, they said.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is. I guess I didn't think something like a furniture salesman would have existed back then. It was like, no, everybody made their own stuff, you know?
Right. It says that they found it appears to be a shopping receipt. The linguists in Turkey will continue working to figure out how many items were purchased, who bought the furniture, or to whom the furniture was given. Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
That's so crazy. So it's just this ancient shopping receipt etched out on a clay tablet from before Jesus was here. Like, it's crazy to me. But I thought it was kind of a cool thing. Like, hey, there's this ancient shopping receipt and they bought a bunch of furniture.
I've always wondered, because a little bit I have this suspicion that most of that work is just total guesswork. They look at something and they're very educated. I'm not saying they're uneducated. It's very educated, but it is educated guesswork. Like paleontology, when you get dinosaur bones and you put them together and you're like, yeah, that's probably what they look like, but the drawings keep changing, as they evolve over the years, and they're like, looks like this crazy thing, and then it's like,
but it seems like it's not drawings, it's characters that are broken up into syllables, and so it's like
right for this specific thing. I'm just saying, anytime you're peering back literally thousands of years or more into history, I mean, it's really, we're just sort of like, probably this.
Maybe this, yeah. It's crazy.
Well, and what else? What else would a list of furniture ever be for? It's
crazy.
Maybe if you were like, if you had I need this many things because I'm furnishing a house, or we're building a palace and I've,
We're building a palace.
Well, yeah.
Give me 300 stools.
That's so cool.
I just thought it was an interesting thing, so I had to Had to talk about it.
Makes me a little sad though, because I think about like the history and all the cool things we did back then, and then my story: AirBNB unveils life-size Polly Pocket house.
I saw this and I watched the video and I thought it was crazy, but then I was also like, "But where do you sleep? And why would I stay there?"
90s sleepover.
But it definitely pulled on the 90s Polly Pocket enthusiast that I was. It looks pretty good. It looks like it's made of entirely plastic.
Yes. Thanks to a mashup of nostalgia and innovation, Airbnb and Mattel have launched a vacation rental featuring a life-size reproduction of the beloved Polly Pocket Compact. I did not beloved these things. I don't know anything about them.
You weren't a girl in the 90s.
I had Micro Machines, which were the little soldier guys about the same size that fit inside
Polly Pockets
airplanes.
Were like the quintessential, like... It was the super cool thing. I had a Polly Pocket locket. Oh, of course I did. And it was a little. It was a necklace. It was a necklace, but the thing was like that big. So you wear it. It's like you're wearing some serious bling, and you open it up, and it's like this thing is crazy. But it had like a couple, like her little house. Right. And little Polly stairs. Was tiny. Yep. And I remember my mom always being like, "Don't let the little kids get that. They'll choke on it." And it's true because there were tons of like little Polly was so tiny, but it was so cool because you could take it, close it, and then bring it anywhere you went. So yeah, I loved Polly Pocket. Actually, those my pretty doll, the little things the boys like to play with that used to be mine, remind me a lot of Polly Pocket.
They're like it's a
similar
brand,
thing, yeah, but it doesn't have a little house that closes in on itself, and yeah. So I saw that story and I thought, oh my gosh, this is too cool.
The accommodation is in honor of Polly Pocket's 35th anniversary.
Oh, 35. Is that all? She's
nuts. Young. Yeah, actually, that's surprising to me because I think about Barbie, which has been around even longer. But it was located in Polly's hometown of Littleton, Massachusetts, which again actually makes it even less make sense because I assumed open concept like this Polly Pocket thing. I was like, this is pretty much open to the air, like all of it is. And so it's like you need to be like in Southern California
or California,
somewhere,
Florida,
or Florida, somewhere where it's mostly not going to rain on you. But it's a 2-story, 42-foot tall structure, faithfully recreates the beloved toys Slumber Party Fun Compact. Apparently they had different like themes or whatever.
Yes, they did.
The whole thing is shaped, it's an open concept design. It does not close. The Airbnb has a range of nostalgic amenities that will delight 90s kids. Guests can raid the closet to try on her iconic outfits. So it's like stocked. It's like a furnished Polly Pocket place.
That's crazy.
The wardrobe is complete with the signature gummy texture many fans remember chewing on as little children. Ew.
I didn't chew on them.
There's a vanity stocked with hair accessories and press-on nails in Polly's favorite colors. You can also engage in classic 90s activities like making charm bracelets. To top it off, you can enjoy movie marathons with popcorn and video cassettes.
Charm bracelets were popular in the 90s. I feel like every kid is making those again now. Aren't they popular with like Taylor Swift fans or something?
Oh, it's a total throwback. Like, that's what the world is right now. I think that's actually why this is sort of brilliant because it's a throwback, but it's not just a throwback. Modern Gen Alpha likes this stuff too. So, for the full throwback experience, the compact includes a retro fridge filled with quintessential 90s treats.
Oh my gosh, please tell me they're Dunkaroos. Gushers.
Let's see. Ring Pops, Push Pops, Baby Bottle Pops.
Baby Bottle Pops are gross.
What's a Baby Bottle Pop? I don't know what that is.
It's like that. It's got like the candy powder and it's got the top has like
those are no good.
The baby bottle thing and you dip it. Those are gross.
Airbnb will open book. So they did
at least do Lick-O-Made like.
It opened last week, basically. It was the end of August.
Oh, wow.
21st.
In Massachusetts?
Yeah, right? It's
going
to be cold.
So many questions. Like
it says, lucky guests can request to book one-night stays for up to 4 people between 12 and 14 of September. The price is $89 a person, which honestly, that's not bad. Like, this is a whole experience. It's fun. $89 per person, a nod to Polly Pocket's launch year in 1989.
I was going to say, that's crazy.
For those unable to, this is a publicity thing, right? It's not at cost or not beneficial. They're not making money off this. You can also do daytime play dates for up to 12 guests. So it's like you can
That's actually kind of cool. Yeah. Be like, hey, we're going to have a bridesmaid party at the Polly Pocket house.
I was like, it's super weird.
On,
but
guys.
wouldn't it be fun if you didn't? Because bridesmaids parties, like, a bachelorette party, parties, it's like, let's go drinking or something. But if you want to do something more fun and innocent,
I think that Polly Pocket sounds perfect.
That sounds pretty cool. Can you imagine a 90s themed wedding? That would be pretty great.
Oh my gosh.
Guests are advised to bring their own blankets or use one of the 4 available sleeping bags. So there's a pull-out couch or a tent parked 10 feet away from the house.
Yes, I saw that.
So this is more of a play structure than an actual...
It really did look like kind of a jumping around, hanging out, going all the levels, being like, look at this is so cool, taking pictures. Like,
I'm impressed with the size. Like the lady walking up the steps to it, I'm like, geez, that's pretty big. Like, yeah, it's a whole world, and I think that's a lot of fun.
It's crazy, but cool.
I just thought it was a cute thing. So
I like that.
Yep, Airbnb.
So you booked us that, right?
Yep, that's what we're doing for our anniversary.
Oh, perfect. You said we we're going to the lake house, but I guess we're going to Polly Pocket House.
That's what I meant. Is that not?
I'm sorry.
Not clear?
That's right. That's the same thing. Okay. All right. My next story is just as playful, maybe.
Oh.
Groundhog found inside a claw machine at a Pennsylvania mini golf course.
Alive?
A live groundhog.
Okay, good.
It was living. It was living.
It's going to be a horrible story.
Pennsylvania game warden was summoned to a mini golf course after employees spotted an unusual prize in the claw machine, a live groundhog.
Wow, that's amazing.
The Pennsylvania Game Commission said in a Facebook post that the warden Salvador Zafudo was called out to the family fun mini golf in Duncansville when the groundhog somehow found its way into the claw machine.
That's amazing.
It says he saw a wave of stuffed animals move as the groundhog scurried around beneath, then popped its head out to assess the situation.
Either Toy Story 3 or an animal got in here.
A representative of the company said that the claw machine, the company that operates the claw machine was called to unlock it so the man could remove the groundhog. The animal was not injured, and was released back into the wild. That's literally the whole story. It's just
They're not going to make a pun about seeing his shadow? Come on.
The lights are so bright in there, you can't. But yeah, it's just all the animals, and then right there in the middle is a little groundhog
so
just hanging out in the claw machine. So
remember in the movie E.T.
Yes.
Where it pans over his face?
He's in the closet with all the stuffies.
That's what it reminds me of. It looks just like that. Don't get a lot of Salvadors anymore. That's such an interesting name for a dude. Salvador. What a great name. Mm-hmm. That's very cool. I love it. Groundhog. We've had a couple of those kind of stories. Like kid climbed in the vending machine or whatever.
That's right. That happened in Australia or something.
Yeah, there were a few of them.
But dad turned around and the kid was in the...
Because dad was like, I only turned around for a minute.
Yep. It's like, how long were you playing Mrs. Pac-Man, Dad? It's not an experience from my childhood. I never climbed into a claw machine.
No, I never did that, but...
Got my hand stuck in the skee ball machine. I did not, actually.
I don't believe you. All right, it's time to talk about Nana's Sweet Treats. Did you see this story?
Treats? No.
Nana's Sweet Treats sounds like a wonderful cookie company.
It does.
Right? Yes, so there's a truck, Nana's Sweet Treats, that delivers cookies. However, the story title is Douglas County woman charged with arson after siphoning gas while smoking.
Oh, that's...
This is all kinds of...
Grandma.
This story has so many levels.
Oh, boy.
A woman in a bakery van, so Nana Sweet Treats, she lit a cigarette while using a hose to siphon gas out of a U-Haul in Roseburg last week. She is charged
gosh.
with second-degree arson after at least 1 and possibly 2 U-Haul vehicles were destroyed by the fire.
Oh, my gosh.
According to probable cause, Jennifer Holmes, 47, who drives the Nana Sweet Treats van, she was arrested on August 3rd, so beginning of this month. She got arrested in relation to the fire. The police were called to the U-Haul business parking lot on Northeastern Stevens Street, 5:30 a.m. to report the fire. The U-Haul was fully engulfed in flames.
Oh, my gosh.
So she drove her car over to this place and thought, I will siphon some gas you use the hose.
Oh my gosh.
You suck on it, and you get the gas to pump out, and she's stealing gas from U-Haul, putting it into Nana Sweet Treat van. So she decides to take a smoke break while she's doing the siphoning of the gas.
Oh my gosh, why?
I gotta figure that's dangerous for her. Didn't she get gas in her mouth? Ugh. So the driveline burned out, causing the flaming van to roll into a tree. When it rolled, they could see a heavily burned gas cap and an insulated electrical cord. Security footage shows Holmes' van in the area just before the fire began. She admitted to siphoning the gas and lighting a cigarette at the same time, which is what sparked the fire.
Oh my gosh.
She's also charged with first-degree criminal mischief and reckless burning.
And no one will ever buy Nana Sweet Treats again.
Whoops. I I don't see it in this article, but I think there was another article I read where I think her van also caught.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it burned up.
It's been a real smart day for her. Why would you think that? I mean, I've seen Mythbusters, and I know that they always say like that gas has to be super active and agitated in order for it to even spark a flame.
Yep.
But every single gas pump in existence says no smoking while pumping. And I mean, that's just a regular gas station.
Did you not see?
You're doing something with a little bit more riskiness to it. Why would you think that's a smart idea?
Oh man, I've got to imagine if you're siphoning gas from U-Haul, you're not exactly thinking very much anyways.
It's true.
But yeah, did she not see Zoolander? I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh.
Remember that?
It's been a minute, but yes, I do remember that movie.
I just, for some reason, like this isn't that funny or interesting of a story, stealing gas.
It just makes you shake your head and be like, what were you thinking, Jennifer?
The fact that it was a bakery van called Nana's Sweet Treats just makes it so good. Like it's just so good. Just absurd.
Wow. Wow, couldn't have been like Dante's Hot Wings or something like that.
Oh,
right?
I like that. That would have been so much better. But Nana's Sweet Treat catching fire because the lady
decided to have a smoke
cigarette while stealing gas. Amazing. Anyways, it's one of those stories where I just keep saying the details over and over.
And you just keep shaking your head. You're like, this is real life. This is America.
I can't even believe this.
Where in America was this?
Douglas County, wherever Douglas County is. Oregon.
Those dang Oregonders.
Yep, Roseburg, Oregon. That's not what I would have guessed. That's way on the other side of the country from what I was thinking. I was going to guess something south.
Florida man.
It
Florida
sounds
woman.
like a Florida man. Oregon woman, same thing,
Oregon, Florida.
Oregon.
Sure.
Oregon, try you. Anyway, I got nothing else.
Okay.
Are
you ready for Sponsor of Your Life?
Ooh, I like that. That was fun. I am ready.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I don't want to steal yours, but let's see. So I'm going to talk about the depot.
Do it.
So we went up to the lake house, got to see my parents. They finally got a new place. They've always wanted a cottage up north on a lake. So they finally got one, and it's really exciting for them.
It was really cool.
My dad's a few years away from retirement. I don't know how long, but it'll be a little while. But they're getting everything ready, and they're prepping it, and it's so fun. So we got to go up there, and they were up there while we were up there. So we actually got to hang out with them. And they were like, let's go to a restaurant. And I mean... It's on Little Bear Lake in northern Michigan, which is in the middle of nowhere. And the two towns that are nearby are
Johannesburg and Lewiston.
Holy smokes. So we went up to Johannesburg and like we drove past the elementary, middle, and high school, which were all in the same building. And we drove right past that to the tiny restaurant in town. And it was called the Old Depot. And it was like train themed.
And it literally had like maybe 10 tables in the whole restaurant.
Yep. It was so small, but it was so cute and very like well appointed. It was clean. It was wonderful.
Oh, their service was great.
It was amazing. And so it was like, man, I love small towns. Like it was just such if I say itty bitty, I'm not making fun or belittling them at all. I'm thrilled. I'm like,
I love it. I think it's quaint. I love it.
So we went in and my dad actually called ahead just in case because
we are quite a crew with 5 children.
7 of us plus my parents. So that's 9 people. 5 of whom are babies. So then we walk in and oh my gosh, the boys had so much fun. They got Oreo pancakes and chocolate chip pancakes and French toast.
It was a really good meal.
It was delicious. Their menu was crazy and many fun options. I had like 4 things I wanted. I was like, maybe I'll try this. They had like a couple of plays on Eggs Benedict. They had like they're regular,
that's right.
But then they had like Irish Eggs Benedict and Euro Egg Benedict or whatever. You had something with
they
the
had
Euro.
A seafood egg Benedict that I almost got, but then I ended up going with a Euro skillet, which was so good. I went with
the loaded baked potato, which is or not baked potato. What am I saying? Biscuits and gravy, which is like biscuits and gravy, but then they're loaded with like cheddar and bacon, and
that sounds good.
It was good. So, anyways, I just want to rave about this cute little restaurant called the Old Depot in Johannesburg, Michigan, which is northern. It's very close to Little Bear Lake. It was such a cute restaurant, and it was definitely sponsoring my life this week.
Nice.
How about you? What's sponsoring your life?
Going to the lake house was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Your parents, I mean, that's a great place. They've got an awesome spot there. And it'll be a fun place for us all to like get together at, It's
Definitely.
It's off the beaten path, but nothing crazy, you know, like it was a straight shot. Oh, not straight shot, but it was like we just headed 120 miles on 131 and then 40 miles, you know, east on a different road. Like it was pretty direct. So it was like simple. 3 hours, just drove for 3 hours and it was perfect. Like it was a good little getaway and we had so much fun. Like the kids got it, even though it was a little bit rainy that past weekend. The kids did not care. They had so much fun playing outside. We had a fire. We had, you know, a couple of times out on the boat. We got to try out your parents' new boat. And the kids went fishing, which was so much fun. They had so much fun fishing because they were catching stuff. I mean,
I'm
not sure what was
Asher
out.
Caught a fish.
That's true. He just didn't have the patience for it. Like, and mostly bluegill. But I mean, if we went out a little further into Lake, I bet the kids could catch some walleye or something like that. But it was fun. We had a really good time and just a really nice little, just a 3-day little stint.
Yeah, we just went for just a little bit.
It was good.
Just a little taste.
Yeah, it was a taste, but it was nice. It was very fun to see the place at least and get a feel for things. So
it was perfect. We should go back.
I agree. Let's do that.
The reason that's funny is because we're going back.
We are
in a
actually
few
going
weeks.
to go back.
All right, so I'm excited. So we have a topic and a game, which is fun because we're out of practice. We just gotta, dust off the rusty podcasting.
The
joints,
rusty podcast, the rusty microphones.
First, let's do our topic because I do think this is a fascinating topic. So a couple of weeks ago, an article came out in the Times called "Meet the Queen of the Tradwives and Her 8 Children." And so it was about a lady who, to her 9 million followers, goes by Ballerina Farm. Now, I've never really heard of this lady. You said you had heard of her, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been following her for a couple of years. Hannah Nealman.
Yeah, so Hannah Nealman. She's LDS. I almost said LSD.
Yeah, they're Mormon.
That's not right.
No, very much not. They're LDS. They're Mormon.
So they're religious, and they have 8 children. They live a very... Well, and this was something...
They're farmers.
They live a very, kind of almost homesteading lifestyle.
They live in the mountains of Utah.
The reason that she catches everybody's attention is she posts a lot of stuff about,
She bakes. She posts a lot of, baking
milking
from
cows
scratch.
and giving birth without pain relief, breastfeeding at beauty pageants, all this kind of stuff. And so the article, the question was, is this an empowering new model of womanhood or is it a hammer blow for feminism?
Okay. To be fair, the article is a smear job. It is not informing at all. It is it was
interesting to read the author's reading into things.
Oh, this author clearly had an agenda and she was very...
I found that was kind of disappointing.
That was disappointing.
Oh.
I'm not even going to say that theologically I disagree with this family, but they're not doing any. They're not pushing. Nope. They're in no way advertising for becoming Mormon or telling you that you need to follow their theological beliefs or whatever. They actually don't very much post anything about being Mormon.
And even the stuff they do post about is not framed as this is what you should do or this is how you should do it.
It's pretty generic. It's not anything crazy or their stuff is fairly it's not offensive to me at all. I don't find it offensive. And I could see where if you were a person that was not into that style of life and you had an axe to grind, you'd be like, this is offensive to me. But people are triggered by everything nowadays, so whatever. It's just... It's basic homesteading people that I follow. It's 90% of the accounts that I follow on Instagram.
Well, and it's funny because I think the fact that the lady found offense. I assume it was a lady who wrote this. I actually don't know.
I assume it was. Yes.
Megan Agnew. It seems to me as though you can. I see, and I don't care that much about this kind of content, so to me that's not interesting at all. But I don't find it offensive. I'm not upset that this woman is living her life in the mountains or what. It's
I started following it when I started getting into sourdough because she posts a lot about sourdough, and I was like, I wonder if she had any tips and tricks. I was trying to figure out how to do sourdough well or whatever, and she posts about a lot of it, and she actually sells her own sourdough starter dehydrated. You can buy it from her store, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do that, but cool that's an option. She posts a lot of recipe stuff, and I'm like, that's cool. It's interesting.
See, so and I actually think there is an answer to the question, because the question she writes, the subtitle or whatever, is this an empowering new model of womanhood or a hammer blow for feminism? And clearly the author thinks it's a hammer blow for feminism, right? It's hurtful. But I honestly think that the greatest thing about the modern world is that women now have a choice to do these kinds of things. Like, I agree, when women were forced to do one thing or the other, that's a bummer. Anytime a person doesn't have the freedom, the liberty to choose the life that they want, that is a bummer. And that's something that I think in the modern world we can grow towards. Like the fact that I have this job, I was able to choose a career and a job that I felt called towards, not caring so much about the income. Obviously I have to provide for my family, but like the fact that I'm able to be a pastor is amazing. Like I didn't have to go choose a job that made more money, which is great. Like I love that. And so I just think that's a great thing. I think if she was saying that her life is prescriptive, that you have to do it my way.
Oh, no one's sitting there signing their life away. Like, I will follow you and do whatever. Like, she's not making money from me being her ardent follower, and I'm like proselytizing to others about being a person just like her. Like, that's...
I think in the early days of feminism, it was women aren't allowed in the workplace and they're not allowed to be in charge and they're not allowed to do this. So that was the big progress, was getting into those spaces. But now that women can do almost just about everything, you know, I know that there's still like wage gap issues, and I'm not saying it's totally fixed, but like the fact that droves of women entered the workforce, found it to be lacking or not what they wanted, and are now saying, you know what, no thank you, I would rather do this other thing. I want to homestead, I want to be the mom and raising tons of kids.
But I really have a problem with it when people are like, women should be allowed to do whatever they want to, just not, they're not allowed to say that they want to stay at home and be a mom.
Yeah.
I hate that narrative, because it's like, women can do whatever they want to. Why would you want to do that? And it's like, maybe this is genuinely what people as want. A Christian feel that God has called me to do. And it's no small task to literally raise up the next generation. Yeah. So when you say that's what you want to do, suddenly you're ridiculed. What a meaningless, pointless, ridiculous thing to want. You are a stay-at-home mom. There's no value in that. How oppressed are you? And it's like, sorry, I don't feel oppressed at all. I actually find this really empowering to do this.
And I think that's the real progress. The real progress is listening to women and actually letting them want what they want, even if what they want is what they used to only be allowed to do. Like that's the real progress, is the choice, not the you have to do this or this. It's like, and I just don't think the author quite understood that. Nope. It's like, it's a blow, and I'm like,
but that's your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and
your point of view.
That's not moving backwards. You know, that's moving forward in a really healthy way. The one critique that I did think was valid was that while this woman, what's her name, Hannah Nealman, they do this homesteading thing.
Yeah.
She also has a massive social media following, right?
Oh,
she has
absolutely.
9 million followers and all this stuff. And it's like, so in a way, these influencers who do this, they are sort of play acting. They're doing it all for a camera, you know, which is different than just doing it. You know, like there are, I think, you know, hundreds of thousands of families that just do it, and they don't have to necessarily be recording their life. And so there is a little bit of an oddity of the fact that like homesteading, natural, all this stuff, but also this social media world where they're making quite a bit of money off of these giant. I mean, having 9 million followers brings quite a bit in advertising revenue and all that. Kind of stuff.
Well, and they already have a ton of money from their farm and all the stuff that they do on the side. Like
husband's fairly wealthy, comes from quite a bit of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. So
Grandpa owns an airline or something.
Yeah, his
like
dad is the owner of like JetBlue or whatever. Yeah, so it's like, oh, well,
they weren't hurting for money when they started. So
yeah, it is an interesting juxtaposition, but I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about them. I know about the whole thing. I read about the controversy. I read the article and I went, oh, that's not fair. And then I kind of moved on with my life.
Exactly. I didn't think it was very fair. I thought it was interesting. The other thing that people talked about, which I don't really know how this matters, because again, I think it's actually progress, is that she is also a beauty pageant queen.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like,
and
with
she
some
had
people,
one of her kids. I don't know.
Yeah,
which
so
one.
her 8th child.
What was the 8th one?
Her 8th child. Yeah, her most recent. So she competed for the Mrs. American. So the Mrs. American pageant.
Okay.
She participated in the pageant as Mrs. Utah.
Gotcha.
Okay, she's from Utah.
Yep.
She was 20 weeks pregnant with her daughter when she did it. I mean, she's a tiny woman. She does not even look pregnant, so you can't tell. But like everybody was appalled by that. And then she went on to compete for Mrs. Universe.
Yes.
After having her baby. So she went through, she won Mrs. American. She was crowned. 20 weeks later, has her baby. and then all the while knowing she's going to be competing for Mrs. Universe briefly after, has her baby at home, home birth, recovery. 8 days later, she goes and competes in the Mrs. Universe.
Right.
Yeah, there was a picture of her like nursing her baby while getting her hair and makeup done, and she's like, "I'm exhausted, but we're here." It was honestly,
pretty crazy.
I think it's crazy. But see, here's the thing. That's not fair. That's awful. Can you believe that all the unrealistic expectations on women's bodies? She's not saying, here, sign on the dotted line so that you can follow my lifestyle and be exactly like me. She enjoys doing it. Yep. More power to her. If you want to be triggered by something, that's on you. I'm so tired of people being like, it's triggering for me. That's not appropriate. She did not tell you that you have to do your life that way. If it's triggering to you, that's on you.
Well, and then
that's not
her.
on her.
You know, you don't have to
unfollow her silently. Move on with your life. I personally disagree with it. There's no way in heck you get me on stage anywhere, even now. And I'm 7 months postpartum. But if you want to perform in some sort of beauty pageant 8 days postpartum, that's fine. That's your choice. You know, whatever. It does not even make any difference to me. I was like, oh, cool. I wouldn't do that, but sure.
I've never really, like...
I don't understand beauty pageants, though.
No, I've never really understood that.
Maybe it's because I'm not a beautiful person, and I'm like, well, I don't really have anything to, you know.
True, yeah.
I just don't see the validity of them, but that's just me. Like, some people enjoy them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people enjoy them. I don't personally think that they are, like, great or whatever, but it's like, I don't, like, that's fine. The one I've enjoyed the most has always been Miss Congeniality. You know,
true.
like that.
It's true.
And I do think that movie shows that there's like a side of it that's like time spent together with other women, encouraging each other and supporting each other. And it's like, okay, so there is like some redeeming aspects. I've always struggled. I was raised with like the anti-objectification. What you look like on the outside shouldn't matter at all.
Is that why you never participated in the Miss America pageants?
That's why I never participated, and I lost to that lady in Miss America or Miss Michigan. What is it? I don't even know the names of the things.
Oh my gosh! But yeah.
No, but I do think that adds a strange dimension.
It's an interesting dynamic, yeah.
I think, and part of that is just this odd juxtaposition of the rustic life. I mean, this picture of her family is clearly like a big photo op. The kids have like cowboy hats on and stuff, and like all the girls have little dresses, and it's like this beautiful, like whatever.
They live in the mountains of Utah. It's gorgeous.
Them, yeah. And it's like they do this thing, and that's really cool. There's like rustic, but then it's like, and 10 million people on social media, and then rustic and beauty and so I do think there's a weird kind of two-sided to it.
It's a very, very weird dynamic because she posts a lot of like, here's me out in the mud milking my cows wearing my muck boots, and she has like dirty fingernails, and she's like, let me milk it right into this cup and then I'll mix my coffee with it.
Into her coffee.
She does that all the time, and she'll be like, fresh raw cream for my coffee, and I'm like, that's cool. And then like the next couple days later she'll be like, this is a memory from the Mrs. American pageant, and I'll be like,
what is this? But to me, that represents real progress.
That's a real person's life. Like, I don't understand why
what she likes. Like, let's say it wasn't Miss America. It wasn't like a beauty thing, but she had she loved to embroider, or you know, she loved to pick a hobby, right? I love to read. Here's my stack of books.
Well, that was one of the biggest things of the article was like, she gave up her dream of being a ballerina, because that's why it's Ballerina Farm. So she was a Juilliard trained ballerina.
Right.
They only let like X amount of ballet dancers in per year or whatever, and so she went to Juilliard School of Dance for ballet, and she actually was successful in it, but she decided she wanted to be a mom and a wife and do this thing with her husband. And the big shocker is that she was forced to give up her dream for her misogynistic husband, who just kind of dragged her. They loved that. The whole article is like, she sighed, whispered quietly about her lost dream of a ballet studio, and it's like, I'm a little bit not convinced that that's actually what happened, but whatever. Like, it's not my life.
I think like that is just part of life. We all have dreams as when we're young, and you can't do all of them, so you have to pick. Like, I had thought I would do mission work, right? Like, when I started out going into college, I was like, I'm going to do mission work. I'm going to be a medical missionary. That didn't pan out for lots of reasons. I made choices that led me down a different...
took a different trajectory.
Like, I didn't think I was going to have very many kids. I was like, nah, like one kid, maybe two. Like, people make fun of me all the time.
You said you were never going to get married. So, boy, what happened? Your misogynistic wife.
You controlled
Oppressive,
me. You oppressed me. into my
I've
happy
been
life.
depressed for only a very short while.
Parks and Rec reference. Ding.
Oh,
I just
man.
no, but truly, like I made decisions that I'm so happy with. Like,
Yeah,
and
this is our life
you
now.
could like paint it bad though. You could paint
Aren't
it
you
and be
sad
like,
that
"Aren't
you
you
missed
sad?
out?"
Exactly. You never did the thing you dreamed of." And it was like I was 18 or I was 20. Like, what did I know about what I wanted?
My eyes are not misty with a ghost of my past. Like,
Harry Potter reference.
sorry,
Ding.
I was just on fire tonight. But really, like, I think it's ridiculous to try to like paint your own, beliefs and opinions about something into someone else's life, because it's like, this is a different person. This is a different life. And maybe they feel a little sad. Oh, remember, or nostalgic. Oh, remember when. But I am so much happier now than I was before when I thought this was what I wanted. Like, we thought we were going to move to Korea. We thought we were going to teach abroad.
I remember
It
that.
was so much fun. But you know what? I'm so happy I ended up here. And I'm back in West Michigan, and I get to be by my family so my kids can grow up with their cousins. Like, I love that. I'm not sad at all.
And I think it's damaging not only to like the narrative we tell the outside world, but also to your personal psyche to look at your past with disappointment. Like, oh, I didn't turn into, and it's like, yeah, no, you didn't. That's okay, man.
Yeah,
move on,
it's very much, because otherwise you're a person living in your past and you're unhappy. And it's like, oh, I wish I could go back to the way I was in high school and things were so great. And it's like, why? Like, life is so much better now.
Yeah, I thought the article was interesting enough that I wanted to talk about it, because I do think we live on the edge of that world, right? Like, I don't think we are. Obviously, we don't come from JetBlue money and own a farm out in the mountains of Utah.
We don't own a mountain.
But we have more kids than the people around us,
That's true.
and we do dream of like maybe owning some acreage someday and like all that kind of stuff. We are religious, although a different religion.
We are?
You just a little bit.
We are actually Christians. No offense. I mean,
no, it's
that's true. I don't
fair.
view it. Yeah.
Mormons are, not the same.
Yep.
But it's just sort of like, I do think it's weird to, especially for a woman writer, to attack another woman for living and having the choices that does not seem as though her life is. To critique it at this point seems strange. Now, if she had said, I wish I could have done other things, I'm very disappointed, but she didn't say any of that. You read into it.
Yep.
And that was the part that kind of was like,
A little bit of an eyebrow raiser.
Yeah.
So yeah.
An interesting topic.
Yeah, I thought
Thanks
so.
for talking about it with me.
Yeah, of course.
You want to play a game for a little bit?
Yeah, let's play a little bit.
All right, cool. So this is a blast from the past. We were looking for a game to play because we haven't played games in a while. This one is called 5-Second Rule. If you guys are not familiar, the way the game works is, this is just a classic game. It gives you a card, and you have to name 3 things in 5 seconds. Now, that sounds easy, but it's actually harder than you think, because in the moment, your brain stops working.
5 seconds is not a lot of time to answer.
I think it's a lot of time if you are clear-headed, but if you get stuck, it goes by so fast.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go.
All right, name 3 things with zippers.
Sweatshirts, pants, and just tents.
Oh. Pants tents?
No. Tents was the only thing that came to my mind.
You got it out, but I think maybe it was after the buzzer.
I think maybe I wasn't. Okay. Name 3 things found on a playground.
Slide, the spinny thing, and the swings.
What is the spinny
I
thing?
don't know, what's it called? The like dangerous death trap metal thing that you whip around and you're going like G-force.
The merry-go-round?
That's not called a merry-go-round.
Yes, it is. It's
no,
called a
merry-go-round's the thing with the horses.
That's a carousel.
No, that's a merry-go-round.
No, that's a carousel.
Those are 2 words of the same thing.
A merry-go-round is the thing that spins on a playground.
I'm going to look this up after. I don't think that's true.
You owe me money. You're wrong.
I'll owe you money. Tell you what. You can have all the money in my bank account. We'll create another account and you can have it all.
Okay.
Name 3 TV moms.
Mrs. Matthews, Mrs.
See? Once your brain freezes, it's so hard.
I'm brain dead.
I'm looking up playground merry-go-round. Crap, it is.
I know. I don't know why you would second guess me.
It's really called a merry-go-round?
It's called a merry-go-round.
Not in 100 years could I have guessed that. I would have said spinny thing or...
No, it's called
That's so funny. Anyways.
This is a highly subjective question, but I'm curious to see what you'll come up with.
All right,
okay.
bring it on.
Name 3 dinners that make good leftovers.
Ooh, pizza, chicken, mac and cheese.
Surprised you didn't say tacos because we always
tacos?
use it for nachos.
Yeah, I love that. There's not a lot. See, to me,
we eat leftovers all the time.
Yeah,
I have no problem with leftovers. I'm not a snooty no leftovers person.
No, so I will pretty much every meal we eat, I want leftovers. Like that's good.
Carnitas.
I love.
That was weird. Okay,
I was literally just thinking. I was like Mexican. I mean, the only reason I don't have leftovers from Mexican, because
you eat them all. It's true.
All right. Name 3 famous bald people.
I hope he's not listening.
Your eyes were just like blank.
My brain completely. I almost said Steve Harvey. He is bald though,
yeah,
right?
Steve Harvey, George Costanza, Dave Ramsey. I don't know. That's hard. That's really hard.
His name's not George Costanza. His name is Jason Alexander.
I know, but his character. Wait, it's so hard. Moby? Moby's bald, right?
Who was the Let's Make a Deal guy?
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
I don't either.
That guy.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
Terry Crews. Terry Crews is bald. You could go for a bunch of, like, bald African-American actors, like Dave Chappelle.
Is The Rock bald?
Yeah, totally. I mean...
We just watched the Jumanji movie.
He does not ever have hair on his head, so...
He did when he was a wrestler.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's, like, a choice or if he went...
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Jason Statham.
Name 3 types of dinosaurs.
Ooh, Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the flying one, Pterodactyl.
Oh my gosh, you're going to call it the flying one. And the spinning death trap.
I wish we could put your face into audio format. Like, there's just this deadpan, disappointed look.
If I say meme of guy sitting in chair looking unamused, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's usually my face when I'm...
Like the little kid with the lip.
Yeah. It's like Bernie Sanders.
Yes, I love the Bernie. The
or
mittens.
man at sports event with his arms.
I love that with his hands way up on his.
Yeah, that's what it
is. The disappointed look to the left.
Man. Okay, go.
All right, name 3 things to do in a job interview.
Smile, shake hands, and dress appropriately.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I hope you're already dressed appropriately.
Yes. No, I think you totally nailed it. That was good.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Name 3 famous painters.
Da Vinci, Raphael, Donatello.
Not the Ninja Turtles.
That is exactly how I did that.
I don't think that those are all painters, though.
Yeah, totally aren't. The whole thing is that they're Renaissance painters. I don't know who they are. I don't know their paintings, but that's the one I have to make sure.
I'm pretty sure those were sculpture.
Hang on. TMNT named after which painters? The internet will tell us which 4 artists. All right.
I already know what the Ninja Turtles are named after. I just want to know if Raphael and Donatello are actually painters.
So Michelangelo, obviously. Leonardo, obviously. Donatello and Raphael. Donatello is the forerunner of modern sculpture.
Ha!
Donatello de Niccolo de Beto Bardi was a sculptor from the early Renaissance. So not a painter.
I knew it.
Wait, but who's Raphael? Because that's the one I said. Raphael Sanzio da Urbino was a painter, who lived during the High Renaissance period, was known for his serene and harmonious compositions, which is hilarious because they named a mutant teenage turtle who bites giant bad guys. So anyways, that was my best effort there. All right, you want to do one more?
Yes. Okay.
Name 3 musicals.
Grease, Hairspray, and The Little Mermaid.
Oh, you didn't even cheat. That's amazing. I thought you'd be like High School Musical 1.
Oh, gosh, that's
2.
lame.
Hamilton.
Oh, I could have said that.
Yeah, Wicked. Ooh,
The Greatest Showman.
Oh,
Wicked. That's a good one.
That is a good one. I'm not going to lie. What was the first one you said? No,
Grease.
You said Grease and then...
Hairspray.
No, I've seen those. Well, I
said The Little Mermaid.
Oh, that was the one that I was like, huh?
They turned it into a musical.
Totally.
Technically, I guess it's not actually a musical.
Well, I mean, the original story, but the movie totally is.
Yeah.
Does that count?
I guess.
Cartoons
maybe.
count?
Do cartoons count?
I don't know. It's our game. We can make up whatever we
That's
want.
true. I guess we can do whatever we want.
What are you going to tell me I'm wrong? Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
I am.
I wanted to say, hey, friends, thanks so much for listening to our ridiculousness. We appreciate you guys. We enjoyed just making this goofy thing, but we're glad that there are actually people listening and having fun. Thanks for listening, blah, blah, blah. Are you ready to send us out with the mom joke of the week?
Could have said that about 5 minutes ago. Where do you take someone who's been in a peekaboo accident?
I don't know.
The ICU.
Oh, very nice.
That wasn't funny. You have to laugh. Okay, what was even more useful than the first telephone?
The second one. I like that. I like that. That was good.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Everybody.